Alrighty, yo, we are back with chapter 3 of James. Back in this thing, if you guys are watching, I hope you guys are. And let's get to this. There's not many verses. There's like 18 verses here, so this might go faster than the other ones, but that were 10 minutes. But let's do it. All right. So it says, I'll read 1 through 12, because that talks about the untamable tongue, and then go into that. But this intro's gone on way too long, so let's get into this. My brethren, let not many of you become teachers, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. For we all stumble in many things. If anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle the whole body. Indeed, we put bits in horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn their whole body. Look also at ships, although they are so large and are driven by fierce winds, they are turned by a very small rudder, wherever the pilot desires. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. So how great a forest a little fire kindles, and the tongue is a fire of a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body and sets on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird or of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no man can tame the tongue, for it is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse men, who have been made in the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Does a spring send forth fresh water and bitter from the same opening? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Thus no spring yields both salt and water and fresh. That took me a little bit to read, but let's get into this. So, it talks about how the tongue and our words let's start from verse 1 and 2. It says we all stumble in many things, and it says if anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man. And it adds this physical representation of us putting bits in the mouth of horses, that they may obey us, and we turn their whole bodies. Now, I'm not like a horse rider by any means, but if you guys are, you guys would know this, where you put the thing to control the horses in their mouth. And it's what I'm trying to think of the word. What am I trying to think? It compares this to. And it also, in verse 4, it mentions ships that are driven by fierce winds, but turned by a very small rudder, where the pilot desires, or where, in this case, where the captain desires, if you guys know, like just normal ships. Even so, it says, and the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. See how great a forest a little fire kindles. And it's saying this because it says that the tongue is a little member of the body, but it's a world of iniquity, and it can defile the whole body. And it sets on fire the course of nature. And it goes into this, and it says, this is what I want to say that'll end this off, or a little bit. It says it's an unruly evil full of deadly poison, and it also gives a better explanation of a spring yielding both salt and fresh water, or a fig tree bearing olives, and a grapevine bear figs. That's not scientific or make any sense. If a fig tree bared olives and a grapevine bared figs, that wouldn't make any sense in the world here. But that's just the example that they use here, and that's just what I would like to this, and I hope this makes sense to y'all, by the way, because if this is just completely confusing, tell me and I'll fix it. But so now we're in 13 through 18, heavenly versus demonic wisdom. And this is actually one of my favorite passages in the book of James, because it talks about some stuff that a lot of people don't usually talk about normally. So let's get into it. So 13 says, "Who is wise and understanding among you?" So it starts off with a question. And then it says, "Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom." And then 14 says, "But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, and demonic." I'm going to stop right there. What? Does it say that bitter envy and self-seeking is? And it says that if you have it in your hearts, do not lie and boast and lie against the truth. And it tells you that this wisdom, this self-seeking, and this bitter envy is earthly, sensual, and demonic. You don't hear those words a lot, but it tells you this. Now, 16, I'm going to read 16, and then I'll give a thing on it, but this is what 16 says. It says, "For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there." So, where envy and self-seeking are, what is there when those two things are there? And it says here, confusion, right? Confusion and every evil thing is there. And then, so let's go 17. "But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy." So it's telling you, that is just 17 telling you what the heavenly wisdom is, what the wisdom that comes from God is. And that it tells you gotta check the wisdom of this world and make sure that it is heavenly wisdom and not demonic wisdom from the earth. Now 18, it's one of like the best verse here, I think, in my opinion. "Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." And there's not much I can say about that verse, because it's pretty self-explanatory in my case. But I like how it mentions that the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. But yeah, I don't really have much else for this, so I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, y'all. Have a great day.